Still ahead tonight, from superstorms to battles in the street, the National's reporters have brought you to the biggest stories in the world.
Stranded, lowering rescue technicians.
When they get too close, they fire tear gas. Something very clearly is changing. Have a look over here.
Now, all of those stories are in one place. We pressed rewind on the year 2012, and we'll hit play next on The National. Some striking moments from here at home and around the world. The National was on the front lines and at the finish lines. As 2012 comes to a close, we've rounded up the sights and sounds of the year's top news stories. Now, our producers, Greg Hobbs and Claude Penet-Raymond, put together Rewind 2012.
You're looking for your mom?
My mom, my sister, my brother, my nephew, my dad.
I'm going to sign an executive order mandating evacuation.
If you're still able to hear me, we need you to hunker down and get to the highest point possible.
The Coast Guard have been coming in to get all of the people who are stranded, lowering rescue technicians right down to their homes.
People started crowding or pushing down towards the lifeboats. And there was no panic, there was no screaming or yelling.
The captain did not follow the authorized route.
I heard like 7 loud booms, and the gym teachers told us to go in the corner.
All these parents were waiting for their children to come out. They thought that they were, still alive.
There were 18 children that were pronounced dead at the school. There were 2 that were transported to area hospitals and pronounced dead at area hospitals.
And there's 20 parents that were just told that their children are dead.
They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings.
Our friend at the ticket booth.
My wife is down there, and I know she's alive. I want her out of there, and they're giving up. They can't give up. They can't give up.
We need to make sure that we have heavy equipment standing by.
Don't take the floor, everybody.
The passenger van carrying 13 Peruvian migrant workers was traveling west. It did have a stop sign, but did it stop?
No one ever expects to see something that much carnage.
Their fathers, sons, people are waiting for them back home, and suddenly this happened.
Contaminated meat has reached store shelves across this country. It's American inspectors that caught that contaminated meat, not Canadian inspectors.
All products currently at this plant are under CFIA detention and control.
Why did it take so long
before a recall notice was put out by the Canadian government?
Greece has made its choice, and we now have to focus on the next step, which is constructing a firewall that is large enough to prevent contagion within the Eurozone.
I said I would decrease tax, but I'm increasing it, said Spain's Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy.
This is a power play. People pressuring beleaguered governments to end the cuts.
RIM's in a very, very difficult spot and getting more difficult every day.
Looks as if the new CEO is going to pretty much stay the course.
They definitely have a shot at survival, but the clock is definitely ticking.
Back up. Back up, guys. Back up.
Facebook's mission is to make the world more open and connected.
What they had hoped for, investors would just be ready to buy the stock at any price, and we saw that wasn't the case.
Meet the man from Canada who's taking over at the Bank of England.
Britain needs the very best, and in Mark Carney, we've got him.
I've accepted this responsibility at the Bank of England at a decisive time.
Canada is acknowledged to have weathered the economic storm better than any other major Western economy.
It was the evidence as a whole, I think, that was the most significant.
I didn't do anything.
Tory has justice, and that's all that we have ever wanted.
And it was all for this little girl right here, not just Tory, but for every little child in Canada that doesn't deserve what happened to her. It's a very sad day because this jury found that 4 strong, vivacious, and freedom-loving women were murdered by their own family.
Mohammed Shafia, guilty. His wife, Tuba Yahya, guilty. Their eldest son, Hamed, guilty.
Why would a killer film himself and then put it on the internet?
208, that's where they found apparently the rest of the body parts.
There's a warrant that was issued from coast to coast. We need to find the suspect. We need to bring him to justice.
The judge sentenced him and his interior minister to life in prison, 25 years.
It starts within every person in this country to be really willing to change.
What we're seeing at the moment is the conflict over the identity of this country.
When they get too close, they fire tear gas to disperse the crowd just on the outside of Tahrir Square.
Muslim Brotherhood are coming, and the liberals are coming now, and this is going to end in a bloodbath.
Push the Assad regime out. There's no doubt it needs to go.
What is this? Nobody help us?
This is totally unacceptable. Make a choice. Turn your back on this criminal regime or face justice for the blood that is on your hands.
We recognize and support Israel's right to defend itself against such terrorist attacks.
We are determined to continue with this operation until we'll bring some peace and quiet and normality to 3 million Israelis which are currently under rocket danger.
No one is suggesting that this election has been entirely perfect.
There are no guarantees about what lies ahead for the people of Burma.
Something very clearly is changing. Have a look over here. These people are actually celebrating publicly the image and name of the iconic opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi.
Very pleased to present this to you, Your Honor.
Mr. President, have you looked at your pension?
You know, I don't look at my pension. It's not as big as yours, so it doesn't take as long.
Let me give you some. I came back to what you spoke about.
I do want to make sure.
Let me call it an act of
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
I so wish that I had been able to fulfill your hopes to lead the country in a different direction.
We are an American family, and we rise or fall together as one nation and as one people.
Amazing young woman, and you asked me to help you get the message across, so I want to help you do that.
I am fortunate that I'm alive here today, but the people I met back in Toronto waiting on that list aren't always so fortunate.
Although she is gone from our physical world, she has left behind a larger-than-life message that has sparked the world and has made it open its eyes, its ears, and its heart.
I thought about the cause I was doing it for and all the kids at Camp Trillium that are just amazing and the families that go to Camp Trillium.
There we are looking down at eastern New Mexico.
Felix, disconnect the oxygen.
Outgoing over.
It was hard to know how to get out of that spin.
This will mark the first time a Canadian astronaut will command the orbiting complex.
Good luck.
Main liftoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Tom Marchburn, Roman Romanenko, and Chris Hadfield making their way towards the International Space Station.
Omar Khadr is a well-known supporter of the Al-Qaeda terrorist network and a convicted terrorist.
They often made me sit up on the stretcher in order to create pain from my wounds.
Omar Khadr is going to be one of those singular moments in Canada's history, like the War Measures Act or internment of Japanese Canadians in the Second World War, where we look back and say, well, did Canada do the right thing?
They got this. Do you ever look at these images and say, if it hadn't been for these snapshots taken by cameras you installed?
Have you ever wondered if you hadn't made yourself a part of a picture like that, you wouldn't have gone to prison? I mean, I would have had to be a clairvoyant to see that. This has been a pretty strange scenario all the way through. And you asked me, I guess, why I want it to end? Because I'm ready for a little more normal and predictable life, that's why.
Hi, it's just been a wild ride.
Why is there water on your face?
I'm crying.
I thought maybe he was going to get a few $1,000s, but people jumped on this right away. Well, I guess people like standing up for the little guy,
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number.
I don't think that you turn into a princess once you become a pop artist. I think you're a pop artist and you're still a human being.
But here's my number.
You can get addicted to a certain kind of sadness.
I am a woman. Dana Talakova fought the Miss Universe Canada organizers to become the first transgender person to compete in a major beauty pageant.
British tabloid showed him partying in Las Vegas. It featured pictures of Harry naked.
Well, he's just been a boy, isn't he, messing around? He's been a young man, yeah.
And the Oscar goes to Christopher Plummer, Beginners.
When I first emerged from my mother's womb, I was already rehearsing my Academy thank you speech.
Hey, sexy lady. Open Gangnam Style. Hey, sexy lady. Open Gangnam Style.
Tell everybody this is your song. The magical mystery tour is waiting to take you away. Let it be, let it be.
Your Majesty, Mummy. This is our opportunity to thank you and my father for always being there for us and for making us proud to be British. Proud to be part of something as unique as the Commonwealth.
We propose fixing the problems which may exist, not fixing problems which don't.
I promise.
I promise.
You cancel one game, I'll take one from you.
We are pleased with the process that is ongoing.
Gentlemen, buck up, get it done.
Whose money are you fighting over? Mine?
UCI will ban Lance Armstrong from cycling, and UCI will strip him of his 7 Tour de France titles. Lance Armstrong has no place in cycling.
President Obama to stick to his promises and combat climate change by stopping the Keystone XL pipeline.
Today, I'm directing my administration to cut through the red tape, break through the bureaucratic hurdles, and make this project a priority.
I don't want to accept such a risk to our territory.
The federal government is trying to determine the outcome, and I don't think that's fair to anybody.
To try to silence that democratic debate is just yet another gift to the big oil industry.
We're hoping this is going to make a change and that Charest might change his mind and not put the prices up.
There will be next voters, so think about that.
Vous avez déclaré la guerre à une génération en entier.
Le gouvernement du Québec est ferme.
Now is the time for the silent majority to speak.
Le Canada est devenu un risque pour le Québec.
People, they want to have changes.
Permettez-moi de remercier chaleureusement.
Police say the suspect walked down this road and entered the building through the back door. Minutes later, shots were fired.
And together, we will work towards a more just and a better world.
Even the opposition members know that pennies take up too much space on our dressers at home.
It's time for renewal. It's time for the next Liberal Premier.
There is no other way to fight organized crime.
Organized crime, through their legitimate business, will be controlling this country.
Il y a un montant de 3%.
3% of every project would go to the political party of Mayor Gérald Tremblay.
The trust I had on some was inevitably betrayed.
It is clear that the damage has been done.
This is an automated message from Elections Canada. Your poll location has been changed.
Who had access to the database?
It's a criminal offense. Smear campaign, baseless smears.
A deliberate smear tactic.
You want to know where's the Putin?
Our democracy is at stake here. We will not rest until we know.
This is an automated message from Elections Canada.
you.